Good morning, students. Here we start with the lymphatic drainage of head and neck. So in the lymphatic drainage of head and neck, which is a very important topic, we start with first the general consideration. This is the first point. There is introduction. Then we discuss the deep cervical lymph nodes. The deep cervical lymph nodes. After that, we will discuss the outer circle of lymph nodes. Then we discuss the inner circle of lymph nodes. Then we discuss the applied anatomy of the lymphatic drainage of head and neck. In the end, clinical classification of the lymph nodes of head and neck. So, clinical classification that we keep in the end. So, therefore, altogether, we discuss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different points. So, the first point, that is general consideration, introduction. Out of total 400 to 450 lymph nodes of the total human body, around 60 to 80 lymph nodes are located in head and neck region. Now these lymph nodes are mostly located in a vertical part and around internal jugular vein. So they are called deep cervical group of lymph nodes. Now this vertical part which is located around the internal jugular vein, which is called the deep cervical group of lymph nodes, they will receive the lymphatic drainage from entire head and neck through two different rings of lymphatic channels. And what are those rings? They are called outer ring and inner ring. So therefore, this outer and inner ring, they are located entirely in the junction of head and neck region. If you describe the outer ring of lymph nodes, they are located extending from the chin to the occiput. And they are known as submental, submandibular, parotid, posterior auricular, which is also called mastoid, and occipital. So therefore, here we draw the auricle at this level. Here also we draw the auricle at this level, and we draw this cranial cavity. So here, what we are drawing is the cross section of the entire head and neck. So therefore, now since we have drawn this cross section, I would like to extend this anteriorly so we can draw the different rings also. Here I am extending. Now if I want to show the ring, this will be the external ring. Now in the external ring, if I show the lymphatic lymph nodes, lymphatic drainage, here I will show this will be the submandibular group. This lymph node will be the not submandibular but submental. So this is the submental. Over here we will show submandibular group. So this will be the submandibular group of lymph nodes. Submental, submandibular. Then we show over here parotid group of lymph nodes. We show here the parotid group of lymph nodes. Then we show behind the auricle, we show the mastoid group of lymph nodes. So here we show the mastoid group of lymph nodes. And right at the occiput, we show here the occipital group of lymph nodes. So therefore this completes the outer ring. And therefore, this outer ring, if you want, we can just mark this diagram, submental, then submandibular. This is submandibular. This will be parotid. This will be mastoid, which is also called posterior auricular. And this will be occipital. Now inner ring. This inner ring of lymph nodes, they are located at the upper part of the alimentary and respiratory passages. And therefore, once again, if I draw this inner ring, after completing this inner ring, I can show these group of lymph nodes. Now, these group of lymph nodes, we start with the, for example, we can mention here, we can start with the pre-laryngeal, that is pretracheal, pre-laryngeal. Then we can show here on the sides the paratracheal group of lymph nodes, pre-laryngeal group of lymph nodes, pretracheal, and this is the paratracheal group of lymph nodes. And we can show here retropharyngeal group of lymph nodes. So they are at the starting of the alimentary and respiratory passages, inner group, and therefore now we will mention them as here. We can mention this as pre-laryngeal group, also pretracheal group. Here we can mention this as paratracheal lymph nodes. Here we can mention this as retropharyngeal group of lymph nodes. This forms the inner ring. Now we can show that after completing the outer and inner rings, deep inside, deep to the inner ring, there will be submucous collection of the lymphatic tissue. This is very important. This needs to be mentioned in the general consideration. That submucous collection of lymphoid tissue deep to this inner ring consists of Waldeyer's lymphatic ring. Very often it is asked in 1 mark question answer, it is asked in MCQs, what is Waldeyer's lymphatic ring? So therefore this Waldeyer's lymphatic ring consists of the submucous collection of lymphatic tissue deep to the inner ring. And if I draw over here, if I just want to show, I can make here another ring. This is where I show another ring. This is the interior of oral cavity. Now supposing if you consider this is the interior of oral cavity where the tongue is there, soft palate is there. In the roof there is palate and soft palate, hard palate and soft palate. In the floor there is tongue. Now this Waldeyer's lymphatic ring we start with, we can show here deep inside in the roof and posterior part there will be collection of nasopharyngeal tonsil. So therefore here we can name this as nasopharyngeal tonsils in the deep and roof portion. Then we can show on the sides collection of the palatine as well as tubal tonsils, palatine as well as tubal tonsils. So here we can show them here as the tubal tonsil as well as palatine tonsils on the sides. And in the floor anteriorly you can show there will be at the base of the tongue, there will be, supposing here there is tongue, so at the base of the tongue there will be collection of lingual tonsils. So therefore here and show here as lingual tonsils. So this completes the Waldeyer's lymphatic ring. Therefore, now here we have completed the outer ring, inner ring, and then deep to inner ring we have completed the Waldeyer's lymphatic ring, that is a submucous collection of the lymphoid tissue. All these points are located in general consideration, that is what we are discussing. Now here the deep cervical lymph nodes which are arranged around internal jugular vein. So somewhere if you draw the internal jugular vein over here in this area, we show that there will be collection of the deep cervical lymph nodes. So here in this diagram, supposing if we show the internal jugular vein at this point, we will just show the internal jugular vein. Remember this is a cross section and here internal jugular vein. Surrounding internal jugular vein, whatever lymphatic lymph nodes are present in vertical manner, that will be the deep cervical lymph nodes. So this is the internal jugular vein, deep cervical lymph nodes. Now, as the deep cervical lymph nodes which are located around internal jugular vein are the main lymphatic, the main lymph nodes, the main lymphatic channels of head and neck, they will receive the lymph, they will receive the afferent channel from all these outer ring and inner rings. So therefore, from the deep cervical lymph nodes which are located around internal jugular vein, the efferent channels will be, what will be the pattern of drainage of lymph from deep cervical lymph nodes. From the deep cervical lymph nodes, the efferent channels will drain via descending jugular trunk, via descending jugular lymph channels. And these jugular lymph channels, they are the efferent lymph channels from deep cervical lymph nodes. They will drain on right and left respectively into right lymphatic duct and on the left side into thoracic duct. So in the left side, the left descending jugular trunk, lymph trunk will drain into junction of left internal jugular vein and left subclavian vein. That is where the thoracic duct is terminating. On the right side, it will drain similarly into the junction of the right subclavian and right internal jugular vein, where the right lymphatic duct is terminating. So therefore, here we finish our general consideration, point number 1. Now we move to point number 2, deep cervical lymph nodes. Deep cervical lymph nodes, very important. So therefore, when we start with the deep cervical lymph node, the first thing we draw after this diagram will be, if we come on this side, please come on this side, we shall draw here the sagittal section of the sagittal section of the head and neck. So this is where we draw the sagittal section of head and neck, the lips which we are drawing and the chin. So therefore we shall draw here, this will be the mandible and we shall show here tongue. So this is the tongue, this is the mandible, this is the nose and these are the lips. So therefore, now what we need to show will be just behind, above the mandible and the tongue, we show here approximately at this level we show the auricle. And then the most important structure which we have to draw, and that structure which we need to show will be around here, we show the internal jugular vein. That is what we need to show. This is the internal jugular vein which we need to show. This is how we show the internal jugular vein. Now, one of its tributaries we need to show, and that tributary will be, if we need to show that, that will be the facial vein. This is the tributary. Then what we show? We show two different muscle bellies, and that will be posterior belly of digastric and intermediate tendon of omohyoid muscle. So posterior belly of digastric we need to show like this. So here we show posterior belly of digastric muscle. And we need to show here, at this level we will show the intermediate tendon of omohyoid muscle. So here, this is the point where we show the intermediate tendon of omohyoid muscle. Now, we mark these structures. Therefore, this will be internal jugular vein, and this will be the posterior belly of digastric muscle, and over here this will be the intermediate tendon of omohyoid muscle. Therefore, now the entire lymph nodes, deep cervical, which are arranged around the internal jugular, they are divided into two parts, upper group of deep cervical lymph nodes and lower group of deep cervical lymph nodes by intermediate tendon of omohyoid muscle. So out of upper group of deep cervical lymph nodes, the most important is what we are drawing, and that will be jugulo-digastric group of lymph nodes. So therefore, the jugulo-digastric group of lymph nodes, which are the important members of upper group of deep cervical lymph nodes, are located exactly here. So this is where I need to draw. At the triangular interval between posterior belly of digastric, internal jugular vein, and facial vein. So this triangular interval will lodge the jugulo-digastric lymph node, which is an important member of upper group of deep cervical lymph node. So therefore here I will mark this as jugulo-digastric lymph node. Remember, this is also asked as MCQ or Viva question. Its location and its drainage. Then lower group of deep cervical lymph node. The lower group of deep cervical lymph nodes, out of that the most important lymph node in the lower group of deep cervical lymph node will be, I will draw just above the intermediate tendon of omohyoid here. This is the place where I will draw. And this lymph node is known as jugulo-omohyoid group of lymph nodes. So therefore, here I will mark this as jugulo-omohyoid lymph node. This is jugulo-omohyoid group of lymph node. So this is the upper group of deep cervical lymph node. This is the lower group of deep cervical lymph node. Now, the jugulo-digastric group of lymph node will receive afferent lymphatic drainage. It will receive the afferent lymphatic drainage from the palatine tonsil. So this is a 1 mark question answer. A lot of MCQs are asked here in this way. So therefore, the jugulo-digastric group of lymph node is the principal lymph node of the palatine tonsil. Please note down. And therefore, as it is receiving the lymphatic drainage from the palatine tonsils, it is the main principal lymph node of palatine tonsil, jugulo-digastric. So here, I will mention this jugulo-digastric in this way. I will draw the arrow and I will mention it as palatine tonsil. It will receive lymphatic drainage from palatine tonsil, jugulo-digastric. And from jugulo-digastric, the efferent lymphatic channel will drain into jugulo-omohyoid, that is lower deep cervical group of lymph node. So therefore, this jugulo-omohyoid will receive the lymphatic drainage from the entire tongue. So it is the principal lymph node of the tongue. Jugulo-omohyoid is the principal lymph node of the tongue. And it will also receive afferents from submental group of lymph nodes, submandibular group of lymph nodes, and also from some lymph nodes of upper group of deep cervical lymph nodes. So jugulo-omohyoid here, I will mention this as the principal lymph nodes of the tongue. So this is a Viva question, MCQ, jugulo-omohyoid is the principal lymph node of tongue, and also it will receive afferents from submental group, submandibular group, and some lymph nodes of the upper group of deep cervical lymph nodes. So here we finished these two, jugulo-digastric, jugulo-omohyoid. Coming up in the next segment.